Hello everybody, I'm the Guitar Geek, and on the bench with me today is the Les Paul I've been working on since the beginning of 2019. Finally, I'm getting around to finishing it. Now, this guitar has been in storage for a while, and the hiatus between the last episode and this one is frankly longer than the hiatus we had for Prison Break. That's an old reference. So I know that you're dying to see what it looks like on the front because you haven't seen it yet. That's the back, and it is silky smooth. Here's the big reveal. That's what it looks like, and I'm pretty darn proud of it. It is pretty fantastic. It's like a sort of barrel sort of finish. There's still little bits of rubber from my fret rubber over this. That needs to wipe over later, which it will get, of course. I'll just move it around there so you can see it. It's kind of oily, kind of shiny, but kind of matte at the same time. Speaking of matte, it is going out to Matt Quine, the new owner, as soon as I've finished it. And he says he's just wanting something that is unique. This certainly is unique. If you don't know why, then go and see the other episodes in this series. So without further ado, let's get this Les Paul back to being a Les Paul. First up, the electronics. The wiring loom has been provided by Gunstreet Wiring Shop. It was in this box. I took it out quite some time ago when I intended to work on the guitar, so it normally comes lovely presented, but there it is there. Beautifully put together and much better than I could ever do, so thank you so much to Gunstreet. Let's put that in the guitar. Now, if you remember all the way back to episode 1, I put all the bits in this box here, and there they are there. Some of them were salvaged, and this plate was an absolute nightmare to get out. This is what Gibson put on mid-90s Les Pauls. I'm not exactly sure where they started or when they stopped, but that's what they did. And I will be using this again. So let's put that down there, my box of bits. I'll be using this also. Everything else, I think, is being discarded. Well, not discarded, saved for a future project. Let's get the jack socket to where the jack socket needs to be, which is there. And I'm going to tape that there so it doesn't walk around and scratch the guitar around. So there, it's now taped up over the hole. Getting these cables through that channel into the cavity can be quite difficult, but we all have a tool that we can use for this job, and that's an old guitar string. Here's one that I found in a box of bits somewhere. I'm going to feed that down through, and hopefully with a bit of jiggling, that should come out here. Aha! So, there we go. Reminds me of Hot Shots, if you've seen that movie. Now what I'm going to do is wrap that around there, like so. I'm not sure if I'm going to get this first time. There. I've got a towel covering the guitar now so we don't get any solder on the actual wood itself. That would be a catastrophe. Wires are nice and tinned and ready to be soldered on. Switch is now tinned. And I'm ready to go. So again, it comes with this handy wiring diagram, but you can't really get it wrong. I'm going to use my little helping hands. That's the switch done. I'm going to place it back in there and pull that through, get it nice and tidy. Put the nut on, but only finger tight, because at this stage things can change. In here is my hardware again. I'm going for gold this time. Some of the hardware will be gold, some of it will be silver, so the underneath stuff will be silver or chrome or nickel, whatever you want to call it. So let's get this jack plate on here. This one's getting done proper tight because I'm not going to take this off again, I hope. Only if things go desperately wrong to just come back off again. There we go. As with all builds like this, do the final bit with your hand tool, not a power tool, or if you can call that little Bosch XO a power tool. There we go. Doesn't need to be too tight. All right, we got a jack socket on. Oh my goodness! So let's look at what we have. I guess it's pickup time, baby. The pickups are being provided by Nick Silver Pickups, and if you look in here, these are some beautiful looking things because I had a sneaky look before. Nicely packed, Nick. Thank you very much. What have we got? Get that in there. I've got some screws as well. I didn't see that the first time I opened this box up. I'm going to give that to my kids. I'm sure they'll have a whale of a time pretending that's lettuce or something. And what have we got? So open up the little baggie. 50-50, neck or bridge. I'm going for bridge. Can't see. These are the swans, by the way. Ah, it's a neck. Damn it. Oh well, you win some, you lose some. There. It's a slightly aged gold finish, and he has his own way of finishing these. So I don't know exactly what he does, but he does not buy these covers. Nick Silver, that is. He gets these in. Gets these made himself. Oh lordy! Pickups! I've got a little box of here that I went shopping for in Germany at Tolman, and I've got all the bits that I need. So looking for my second pickup ring. Please don't be lost. Yeah, there we are. Good. Cool. Now Matt has a hatred for silver screws and black screws, like when you have black screws on the surround and then silver screws here. So naturally, that's what he's getting, because that's the kind of guy I am, just to wind him up. I was tempted to do like 3 black screws and 1 silver, but no, he's going to get black and silver. He really hates it. If you haven't seen his, or listened, sorry, to his podcast, the Fret Talk podcast, then go and check that out, and he will undoubtedly complain about this several times. Okay, I hope I don't have to take those out again. Flip this one over. That's the neck, and that's the bridge. So, looking at our wonderful Gunstreet wiring shop wiring guide, that's the neck and that's the bridge. So I just need to get this into the right position. Bridge being down here, of course. Pushing back this threaded wire. Now on braided cable, the ground wire is the braid itself, which I found odd when I first did that, ever. Where's my soldering wire? There. Yeah, so if you look inside a Gibson guitar, you'll see that these things normally have just the braid attached to the pot itself, which is what we're going to be doing now. That is the bridge done. Let's bring the neck around. Pokey pokey. Get that up there. Alrighty then. Trying to get some flux up in this joint. One thing I have not mentioned yet, and do not forget to do this if you're wiring a Les Paul, is this little wiring, this little earth grounding cable that's come from the bridge. If you don't do this, you're going to get some serious Buzz Lightyears. So don't forget to solder this into the ground part of the circuit. Everything's soldered on, including the bridge earth. So let's test with my continuity tester. It's just going to beep when there's a good connection. So all these ground points should connect. That's the jack socket, and then do we actually have up for the switch? Oh. Silly me. It was connecting because the pot wasn't turned all the way up, therefore it was sending some of the signal to the ground. Duh. So that is that. I guess we should test the pickups. So I've got my jack cable down here somewhere. There it is. Let's plug in the Les Paul for the first time. Turn the little amp on. And then tappy tappy tap tap. So that means I got the switch around the wrong way. It's wired the correct way, it's just oriented the wrong way, or wrongly oriented. It's around the wrong way. Should be around the right way this time. So that should be this one. Success! Alrighty, so the electronics are finished. Let's have a tidy up. I always forget to do this. I'm going to put the strap locks on next, just because I can. Yeah, this I remember now. I remember there's a big old hole in there that was plugged by a raw plug. So I'm going to have to do that again. It's a long, arduous process. Here's the original nut right here. It's either plastic or corian or something that Gibson call it. I made a new nut out of bone, slotted it, it's ready, it's the right thickness. I've measured it to the same dimensions as the original nut and rounded the edges off a little bit. It should slide directly in there. There we go, nice tight fit, but not overlapping the edges. I'm going to put a little dab of super glue on that, just a little dab. The headstock's not in the best condition. I've decided not to strip it when I did the finishing, so it's a little bit scratched, but it kind of fits the used look of the guitar. Gold tuners, Clusons. I'm also resting the neck on this piece of foam, otherwise that switch would be under pressure. There's a gap between the desk and the switch at the moment, which is what we want. Where's the remaining tuner? There. Then we've got these washers and the nuts. The original tuners were the Grover style kidney bean sort of tunery, and even they weren't in there straight. But these are straight in the sense that they're parallel. But look at that, there's that one's further. Can you see that on the camera? There's a gap just here. And these two are in line. There's nothing I can do to change that. And it's the same with these two. I don't know if that's on purpose, but they're straight. They look pretty decent. Let's get them screwed in. Again, if you're using this as a guide, any pressure that I'm putting this way down on the guitar, I'm holding the head. So I'm in effect pressing against my hand. If I was not doing that, I would snap this neck off, this head off, sorry, instantly. That is looking good. That is looking amazing. I love how that looks. I think that looks absolutely stunning. Ooh, let's spin this round without hitting anything. Okay, let's just check that's straight. I'm going to put these back covers on now because I know that the electronics work. So one more thing to finish. If there's a noise you can hear in the background, that is my son trying to open the baby gate because he's not sleeping, and I've been up there about 4 times trying to shoot this video, and it's now way past his bedtime, so we've got to the stage of parenting where you just have to leave him for a little bit. In a moment I will disappear. That's also why I'm talking a little bit quieter than I was earlier. And now my son has found his fire engine. I can hear an alarm going on. I think that looks classier than a dog in a bow tie. Okay. It's looking good. Time to crack open the the guitar bridge tailpiece from Gotoh, and the bridge from Gibson. I made a boo-boo. I bought the Gotoh tailpiece, which is of course metric because it's Japanese. This is an M8, and Gibson is Imperial. So as you can see, I've got the Explorer on the bench. I'm going to take the tailpiece and the bolts out here, and if it looks cool, I'll use this tailpiece on the Les Paul because it's slightly tarnished, which might match the other hardware. We'll see what happens. I don't know, but I know that these bolts are coming out. Oh man, I love this guitar. Okay, they should fit in the Les Paul. Let's just check. Oh yes. Silly me. I'm going new stop bar, old bolts. Yes, that's what we're doing. Right, decisions have been made. These are the genuine Gibson pieces, so I should have no issue fitting these down in there, but I am going to silicone them just in case. Lube where you can. Now you may notice, or may not, hopefully you do when I point it out, that the saddles are not notched in any way. That's a problem. You know, to match with the mismatched hardware and stuff that I know is going to drive Matt crazy, I'm going to take it a step further just to make my life easier. I'm going to use the saddles from the old bridge, which are obviously chrome, and put them in the new bridge. Sorry, Matt. Not sorry. Got some Monty's Guitars instrument food here, and first of all, it smells wonderful, but it's taken away some of that dust that's on the top of the ebony board and darkening it quite considerably. So the board I've rolled really quite heavily. I want this guitar to feel like it's been played. I mean, it really has. It's not new, but when Matt gets it, I want it to already have a story, you know. So it's a used guitar that's got strange bits on it and customized and bits that are from other guitars, and yeah, I think it's very important for me to, when Matt picks this up, for him to feel that it's been played. This camera's having a real trouble autofocusing today. Okay, it's time to put some strings on it. I can't believe I've got to that point. String it up, baby. It's a Les Paul, so I'm going with 10s. These are Elixir nanowebs. So let's get, in fact, let's start with the thickest one, the low E. It has strings on it, and they're in tune. And I'm going to plug it in for the first time. The setup is awful. It needs a lot of work on the setup, of course, because there isn't currently one. But let's hear our first note. Okay, it works. Okay, time to do the setup, and then we'll have a working Les Paul ready to go to Matt. I almost forgot to adjust the pickup heights because I was so excited. I am doing that now. I'm going for 2.4 on the bass side and 1.6 millimeters on the treble side. Just trying to get the balance between the pickups right. Let's try it in the main system and go through to the studio. This guitar started out as a mid-90s Gibson Les Paul Studio, and it was black with chrome hardware. It looked like this. Here it is. This is the mid-90s Les Paul Studio. It's seen better days, right back to episode 1. That is a kick-ass Les Paul. Look at it. I don't know what you're going to think of it. I don't know if you would have made the same choices as me. But what I can say is that Matt asked me to build him a unique guitar. And that is unique. That is certainly different. I've included some parts for Matt, such as the mismatched knobs, which I honestly don't think he's going to like, but you know, what can I do? I've put the silver screw on here, and here and here and here. He's going to hate that. Genuinely, I'm very, very happy. It's brilliant. What else can I play? My only responsibility left is to say I don't really want to part with it. It's a sad thing. There's a lot of me in this guitar and a lot of you guys. Thank you so much for following this series. I'm so glad that it's over, but I'm also sad to see it leave. I will be doing much more on the bench stuff. Thank you for joining me. While you're here, please click that subscribe button and then also ring that bell and leave me a comment down below. What do you think? Did I do a good job? Did I do a terrible job? What do you think of these? Liking these? No?